get started here in just a couple minutes. All right, testing 1, 2, 3. All right, audio is good. All right. How's it going, everybody? My name is Andrew, and this is Rocket Future. You're joining us at the southern tip of South Padre Island, as per usual, for a Starbase testing stream today. I'm going to check in with chat here shortly to make sure everybody is saying that audio and video looks good, and just to welcome everybody in. But in the meantime, we're just going to get going into some of the details here. So as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, that is Starship S29. It is currently being prepared for what we expect to see today, which would be a static fire. So we're expecting to see a static fire today. Starship S29, a overpressure notice went out. We know that luckily because of Mary from NASA spaceflight, also known as Boca Chica Gal on X, posted that she got a not an evac notice, but an overpressure notice at Boca Chica Village. So that is a great indication that we expect to see a static fire today of Starship S29. Now, if you follow all this, you probably know that just a couple days ago we saw a static fire of S29 already. So why are we seeing another static fire today? We're not exactly positive, but we have some ideas. The leading theory is that there is going to be a smaller static fire, potentially of one engine, to kind of simulate the re-entry burn for Starship. So that is something that we expect to see happen during a real flight of Starship S29. If this is the next vehicle to go up in a near orbital flight test, we expect it to try to do a re-entry burn, and maybe that's what they're kind of testing out today. So we could see one engine burn. Alternatively, maybe they saw something in the last static fire that they didn't love. I just kicked this camera, so I'm going to check the framing on this one in a second. Maybe they saw something they didn't like, and maybe they'll go for a bigger static 6-engine static fire or something again today. But that's not necessarily expected. I think, like I said, the leading these birds down here are nuts. The leading theory is that we're probably going to get a single engine burn here today. So the tank farm and everything's spooling up. We should start to see loading happening soon. So now let me just open up my own stream here while I'm on commentary and check in with everybody and make sure we're looking good and sounding good. So just bear with me. All right, definitely kicked this camera out, so let's fix that. Another windy day down here at Isla Blanca, southern tip of South Padre Island, but it's beautiful out. It's probably like 71, 72 degrees out. All right, there we go. 5x5 says, Jeff, good to see ya. Solt is here. Hello, everybody. Hello, Andrew. Good to see ya. Tony is here. Good to see you, Tony. Thanks for stopping in, as always, Tony. Pleasure for you to join us. We got the wind guard on. I promised y'all that I would get a wind guard for this mic, and we do have one now, so let me know how that's sounding. Let me know how bad the sound is or isn't. Belint is sending a green check. I think that means that we're looking good and sounding good. Megan is in chat. Welcome in, Megan. So yeah, as you can see, On the left-hand side of the screen, we have a view of S29. It is not the clearest view that we've ever gotten of S29. There is a little bit of a haze layer over there between us and Starbase. We're about 5 miles away from the pad right now, so any haze that's in the atmosphere is gonna show up in this long shot that we got going on here. It does look a little bit clearer to my eyes than it does on the feed, so I might play a little bit with the camera just to see if there's anything I can do to make it a little bit more clear, but I think we're probably just about as clear as we're going to get. Now, when the static fire does happen, we're going to get a beautiful clear shot of that, so even though it's a little hazy with the actual seeing the vehicle, we're going to see that static fire crystal clear. Not only will we see it, it's going to be a big burst of orange out the base of the vehicle. Of course, that's the engine ignition. We're also going to see a lot of dust start to get blown around from the ignition, and about 20 seconds after, we may hear it. I heard the static fire a couple days ago here at Isla Blanca Park. Could not be heard very well, just based off of the environmental conditions and the winds and all that stuff. So I'm not sure what kind of audio we're going to get from the static fire here today, but we might get to hear it too, but we'll definitely see it. So that being said, I'm going to bring you in a full screen of our camera here, and I'm just going to check in and make sure everything is looking and sounding good. Tony says sound is much better than ever. Jeff A says sound is much clearer with the foam. Icefire says sound is great, no wind noise. Gabor says, hi Andrew. Hello, Magurok. What can we expect today? And Soltis here. We are expecting a static fire of Starship S29. So that's, of course, our bit of a hazy shot, but not too bad, not too bad. I'm going to be checking in and out of commentary as I am currently working, so I'm just taking a few breaks here and there just to come back onto camera and give an update. Everything is looking good. Checking our feed on all the other platforms. If you're watching on any of the other platforms other than YouTube, we are also live on X, on Facebook, on Kick. And I think that's it. I feel like I'm missing something, but we are currently not monitoring the chat on those platforms. Again, that is something that we're working on, so we can monitor the chat of all the platforms at the same time. But right now, only we are monitoring the chat in YouTube. So if you'd like to come and chat with us and engage with the community, you can pop over here to YouTube, but we are working on that, so hopefully soon we will be able to see all the comments and everything from our X streams and Facebook streams and all that stuff. So Jimatech is here. Welcome, Jimatech. Hope you are well. Good to see you in chat. One thing that we are getting ready for here at Rocket Future. Sorry, I put the vehicle between the mic and the receiver, so I don't know if I got cut out at all there. But one thing we are preparing for at Rocket Future is the solar eclipse coming up on April 8th. We will be traveling to Burlington, Vermont to try to get y'all some beautiful shots of that total solar eclipse. If you watched our last eclipse stream, that was only an annular eclipse. Very cool, really cool stuff, but that is nothing compared to what we're going to experience during the total eclipse on April 8th. So keep an eye out on the channel because we will be live on April 8th for the total solar eclipse up in Burlington, Vermont. Of course, that is pending viewing conditions. If we don't have very good viewing conditions, I will not be streaming. I will probably just get some video and post that after. But hopefully we'll have beautiful conditions. Tony with the super chat. Tony, appreciate you so much. Tony says a small tip to help you out. Thanks. That is so generous of you, and we appreciate you very much. And of course, as always, that's going to go right back into this channel to make your experience as a viewer even better. So thank you. That is Tony's third super chat. That is very nice. That is very nice. GFA says or GFA. Let me know, Jeff. Is it just pronounced Jeff? I know we've probably talked about this before. Just remind me on the pronunciation. But he says the dudes over at CSI Starbase have a fire time of 13:30:38. But it might be different if it's only one engine. So I assume that is based off of the other recent static fires we saw in the timeline. So that is very possible. It is possible that could be accurate. So we could be just under. We could just be under an hour until the static fire, and of course that may shift depending on their loading procedures and everything today, as you said, for a single engine. But we'll have to see. But I have a feeling that that's a pretty good estimate, around 50 minutes from now, 50 minutes or so. Your surname is Alan. Oh, yeah. Thank you for helping me connect those dots. It is good to see you in chat. Thank you for hanging out. So how's everybody doing today? Everybody still riding the wave of Starship Flight 3. We had a beautiful, beautiful time down here. We were here at Isla Park for Flight 3 as well. You know, just a few days ago, kind of a couple weeks ago at this point. Had an absolutely amazing Flight 3 experience. You know, there was quite a fog layer between us and the pad, so we didn't have that ignition view of the pad or even clearing the tower. But shortly after it cleared the tower, it came right into view, and we actually were able to track it a good ways through until it went through some clouds here. But great experience. It was so much fun. I think I'm starting to nail down the flight day streams. I think the emotions and the adrenaline and all that stuff from flights, as they were still new to me, definitely made it a lot harder to kind of hold composure and get through those streams. But I think we're getting it. I think we're getting the hang of it now, where we managed to really hold it together for Flight 3, and I'm really looking forward to Flight 4. We're going to keep improving our streams, our flight day streams, and I think we're going to get a lot of practice with it this year, so I'm pretty psyched. It should be a really exciting year for Starship and Starbase this year, so we just have to wait and find out, see how many flights they get off this year, but the next one is looking pretty good for hopefully next, I would say May. I think May is probably looking good right now, so we're going to hold tight and wait for that to come to fruition. So what are we waiting to see here today? Zoltan is in chat. Good to see you, Zoltan. So we want to see, obviously, for them to start loading prop on Ship 29. We want to see some liquid oxygen and potentially a little bit of liquid methane being loaded onto Ship 29. So I'm going to keep up to date with the community and the feeds and everything to see when prop load is starting. And after that, we'll see engine chill. A lot of that might be hard to see from this distance, given the today's viewing conditions. A little bit hazy to see that frost line grow, but we might get lucky. Maybe we'll see some of that frost line. And then when it's time for static fire, we're going to get a beautiful view of it here. You'll get a really, really clear picture of that static fire happening. So don't worry about the haze there. It doesn't affect the static fire too much. It's just kind of all the stuff leading up to static. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. We're gonna wait and see how those steps happen, and then we'll see a static fire, and then we'll see how that goes, and then we'll wrap it up and call ourselves one step closer to flight number 4. After SpaceX completes this static fire of Starship S29, I think it's probably safe to say that S29 will be ready for flight. I don't think there's much else for testing to happen on Ship 29 unless there's something new that they want to add to the mix. The booster, however, still has a bit of testing that we expect to see. So hopefully in the next week or 2, we'll start to see Booster 11 get rolled out from the build site. which is just a couple miles up the road from the launch site, and roll it down to the launch site for testing. We want to see that stacked onto the orbital launch mount, and then I think what we want to see there is a spin prime test and a 33-engine static fire. I think probably just those two tests will kind of check the mark for Booster 11, again, unless there's any changes that they've implemented in their testing regime since last flight. And then after, so Ship 29 static fire today, hopefully, Booster 11 spin prime, Booster 11 static fire. Then at that point, I think we're ready to see another full stack in a wet dress rehearsal. After that, it's just the launch license and FTS install, and then we're ready for the next flight. So it's really kind of all coming together really fast here. So we'll see how quickly they get Booster 11 down to the launch complex, but it seems like they're really at warp speed here, trying to get everything ready for flight number 4. So I honestly I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe push the boundaries a little bit here and try to get it scheduled for earlier than May. Did I say May or March earlier? I want to make that clear. I mean, I think the next flight for May, not March. So let's see what they do. I think mid-May is a safe bet, but I think if they push really hard, we could even see it a little bit earlier than that. But that's kind of the rundown. So let's just hang and wait to see. It was like the robot on the Ferguson show, right? You get that a lot. Bit hazy and windy, but at least sunny. Yeah. It's definitely a bit hazy and windy, but sun is out. I got some sunscreen on. Last time I was out here, I actually got burnt, even though it's pretty early in the season. I got some color, a little bit more than I wanted, but otherwise it's absolutely beautiful out here. It's probably low 70s with a nice cool breeze. It's exactly the type of the day that I want to spend out here at the beach. So, thumbs up from me on that, on the weather. Thank you, Zoltan, for the super chat. Thank you very much, Zoltan. We appreciate you very much. You're very generous. And again, I'll repeat myself here. That money's going to go right back into the channel and help it make it a bigger and better thing. If y'all are curious on what type of things that those donations will go to, the camera that you are viewing my commentary from right now, this is an upgraded new camera for commentary. We're using a very, very inexpensive camera with pretty bad quality up until recently. Now this one is still new, and I haven't completely played with all the settings and everything to get us the best picture possible yet. But it does a really good job, and we've just recently updated that. So this is the camera that we're going to use for interviewing the crowd and getting people's reactions to launch, that type of stuff. So you're going to get a nice crystal clear picture of crowd reactions, crowd interviews. Brand new mic. This is brand new. This allows us to be wireless and allows us to keep our commentary going no matter what we're doing, walking around the Jeep, setting cameras up and stuff. We now have this new wireless mic, which sometimes I occasionally shut off accidentally, so I have to check that from time to time. New tripods. All of our tripods fell apart. I had some really, really inexpensive tripods, plastic ones, probably like, 20, 30, 40 bucks, and they just don't hold it together with all the weather and the moisture, everything down here. So we got some nicer metal tripods. I try to get the best equipment to get it done, the job done, for the best quality we can for the minimal price. So I'm trying to make all the donations go as far as they possibly can to giving you the best quality that we can get out of the smallest budget. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job at buying very good equipment for the price. Not only that, but of course we have our Starlink subscription costs and all of that stuff. So all of your donations go right into making this thing happen. So I appreciate y'all. So I just wanted to give you an update on what types of things that we may be spending those types of donations on. So thank you very much. All right, let me go full screen here. Wish I'd get you a little bit better of a quality there, but I think it's just the distance. Now, as you can see, the rocks and the water and the dunes they're a little bit of a higher quality than the ship as well, and that's actually just because those are quite a few miles closer than the ship itself is. So even though the ship looks like it's right behind those dunes and those rocks, it's actually, I want to say, probably another 2.5 to 3 miles past those rocks is the actual ship. So there's a 2 to 3 mile gap between those dunes and that ship. That's why the ship is a little bit more impacted by the haze in the atmosphere. Prop load should be starting in 30 seconds. Cool, we should start to see prop load begin, and we should start to see some frost grow on the vehicle if we're that lucky to see. You know what? I think we might just be able to make out a frost ring once it gets big enough. Let me just adjust as much as I can here to give us the best view we can get. But I think we're pretty much at that point. But Lint says Mike's is so far so good, no wind noise at all. Wow, that's really impressive. I'm very, very happy to hear that. We got quite a little bit of a breeze going out down here, so it means this wind guard is working nicely. So that's good stuff. Thank you.
Coming here for the first one.
Oh, okay.
And then we got here in late October and watched the second launch.
Nice. Yep.
And this last one kind of lost that luster.
Yeah.
Because, well, besides not
Fog.
being able to see it,
Yeah.
the dense atmosphere.
Where'd you watch from? Here again? Huh? Because I thought it might have been louder from here than IFT2, but.
Oh no, I've got video to prove it.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked down at her chair, and it's literally,
Right.
this much. I mean, it's like, and there's a crowd of people in front of us, and it's still doing that. It's like, holy hell! And then when it exploded, it was all. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yep, I know exactly what you mean.
Awesome in a.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, it would have been nice if you had a view like we did.
For
two.
sure.
It would have been great.
Well, plenty more where that came from, so.
I know, but we're leaving on the 7th.
7. Yeah. Where's home? Okay.
Tip of Lake Michigan.
Okay.
Right, so we're 30 minutes from Chicago, 30 minutes from Michigan.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
We're right there.
Nice.
You're from Texas?
Originally Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm down here now.
Oh, it's sweet.
Yep. I do. It's great. No, definitely not in the winter. Yep. I still like visiting Boston in the summer though. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's some cool spots in Boston.
Yep.
Yeah. I really hate the Northeast.
Really.
It's just me.
Right.
You know, I like being away from a lot of people.
Yeah, that's fair. How's it going?
All going okay. Did you test fire that thing today?
Probably. Yeah. Maybe let's check in with chat here. Oh yeah, you can see some venting start at the base of the vehicle now, so that is a good sign. Just hanging out, talking with some folks here about launch and about today's test and everything, and just hanging out and enjoying the weather with these folks here. Engine chill should be at about 1. These times are courtesy of CSI Starbase. Thank you. I very much appreciate you forwarding those information along, and I very much appreciate CSI Starbase. We are a huge fan of Zach and Zach's entire team. There are so many people that assist on the CSI Starbase episodes and the work that they do, and anybody that is involved with that channel, I'm a big fan of, and I'm a huge supporter of them. So they're great. If there's anybody, I'm sure this isn't the case, but if there's anybody here that has not seen the CSI Starbase channel yet, please make sure you check it out. Balint says a 1-engine static fire might be a long one. It would be cool to see a long duration static fire of a single engine. I would be very happy with that. So like I just said a couple seconds ago, we can start to see some of that vapor and venting coming from towards the base of the vehicle and the suborbital tank farm. So all good indications that we should start to see prop load here in the next few minutes. Could be about a half hour from engine static fire, give or take. Could be a little less, could be a little more, could be significantly more, depending on, you know, they might go into a hold or all these things. We don't know, but it sounds like a half hour might be a good guess for now. I did just check my my calendar, and I do actually have it. Unfortunately, I have a call exactly at 1:30. But that, you know, I'm obviously going to have the stream up. You guys will be able to view it. I'll keep the microphone out so you guys will be able to hear it. But if it static fires right at 1:30, I'm probably not going to be on commentary. I'll probably be taking a call, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. That's what we got to do. So let's just keep a close eye on Starship S29 as it looks like they're beginning prop loading, and I'll continue to provide updates up to that point. We should get about a 10 minutes of heads up. Generally speaking, I'll check in with tweets and messages in the community. Generally, NSF will let us know that somebody at the village, usually Mary, will hear a siren go off, and that's usually about 10 minutes before. So hopefully we will get that notice. Not always do we, but hopefully we will. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and that's where we're going. Team Space, that's right. I firmly believe that we can all grow as a community together, and I live by that. I really do. Oh, I just flipped my keyboard over. Hopefully I didn't end anything. No, we're good. Engine chill. What are you thinking? Are we thinking prop load or engine chill? I think we need prop load first, right? Or are we already through that? Good news though. It looks like we're progressing forward. I would love for this thing to go off a bit before 1:30. That would be amazing. Keep an eye out on the bottom of the screen as well. This time of year, we see a lot of dolphins in this channel here, so I would not be surprised to see some towards the bottom of the screen there. I'm taking a close eye on our feed here to try to see if we see a frost line. And I almost feel like we might. Let me tune into some of the other feeds going on and see if I can confirm that. Yep, confirmed. There is a small frost line growing on the liquid oxygen tank on Starship S29. So prop load has started and it is going through propellant load of at least liquid oxygen, and most likely they'll get some methane in there as well. I want to check if my meeting is offset by 5 minutes. Generally speaking, they're set on the 5 minutes, so not necessarily at 1:30, but 1:35. 1:35 would be perfect, but if it's 1:30, that's tough. Good news. My meeting's at 1:35. So if they go right at 1:30, then I'm going to be golden. That'll be perfect. Let's keep our fingers crossed for exactly 1:30. One thing I like to provide here on Rocket Future is so we're definitely one of the smaller live streaming channels out here right now. Yeah, maybe we'll grow at some point, and we are growing. But one of the benefits of us being one of the smaller channels is we get to see all of the chat. We get to see all of the questions in chat and everything. So if you are enjoying following along with Starship development and Starbase, and you have questions about this stuff, I'm not necessarily a rocket expert, but I have been exposed to a lot of this stuff for a long time, so I do have some answers to some of your questions. So the benefit of one of these smaller channels is that you can ask those questions. I will see them, and I'll do my best to answer any questions for you. So if you got friends that are really interested in learning more about this stuff, and they have those types of questions, please feel free to point them to this Rocket Future channel. Again, I think that's one of the benefits of kind of the smaller community right now. Again, I would love to grow Rocket Future, into a bigger channel, and that's what we're trying to do. But as we're smaller, it's going to be easier to chat and communicate with everybody. So there's a grackle on my Starlink, and I hope it's not ruining this signal. A bird on the Starlink dish. that bird just got some radiation from the Starlink. Belint says hopefully it will be a long one. We, Space Junkie, were there on August 11th, 2022 on Isla Blanca for that 20-something second Booster 7 static fire. That was fun. We met Andrew a couple days earlier. That was awesome, Belint. That was it was really good to meet y'all. It really was a good time. That was a great static fire too. I think if I remember correctly, it had been a long time between tests when they did that static fire, so I think we were all kind of hyped up to see them getting back into testing again. If anybody is just joining us, we are here at South Padre Island waiting to see a static fire Starship S29. SpaceX is in the propellant loading phase right now. We can start to see that frost line grow on the liquid oxygen tank, which means that they are loading liquid oxygen. We expect to see that line grow a little bit more, and then hopefully they'll start to load some methane as well. And at that point, we should be pretty soon close to a static fire attempt. So there's some thoughts from the CSI Starbase community that it might be scheduled for 1:30 Central Time. So we're under a half hour from that point. So we'll just hang out and wait and see if that's the time they go for. Excuse me. In the event that they don't go at 1:30, I will have to step off of commentary. I will keep the live camera and the live audio going from here for you to see the static fire, but at 1:35 Central Time I will have to get on a call. So just a heads up that I'll give you an update before I get off of commentary, just so you guys can keep yourself updated. So I won't be providing, after I jump off of commentary, I won't be providing updates for about a half hour or so. And at that point, hopefully we'll be past that static fire. So frost line is continuing to grow. If anybody hears from the community that a siren has been heard, please let me know. Of course, we're not positive on the 1:30. We're just kind of hoping that that's the case. But I think that's healthy, educated speculation. I'm checking in with chat here. My phone is just being a little difficult. There we go. All right, we're looking good. We're looking good. Let me go full screen again for you. Now it is kind of windy out here, so it will be to be determined whether or not we'll actually be able to hear it. But I think we might be able to. We'll have to see. Belint says, yeah, there was a long pause of testing before that. They rolled out B7S24 week of August. The first static fire was on the 9th with both. Right. That lines up. That lines up. That was an exciting static fire. That was a long duration one too, right? I think it was 20 seconds or something. These birds are wacky here today. They're flying all over the place, really close to people. I think I might actually, I got some work commitments today, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to hang out here for the static fire, take a couple work calls from here, and then probably wrap things up after the static fire, and then I'm going to go home for a bit, and I think I'm going to probably come right back here to the beach and hang out on the beach. It's just such a nice day once I've wrapped up with work. So let's hope they get the static fire off right at 1:30. That'll be super, super convenient for us. If you look closely, you can probably just barely make out that frost line on the liquid oxygen tank, but it is there. I checked on the NSF feed, and it definitely has a frost line growing. Again, if you're watching us on any of the platforms other than YouTube and you're confused at who I'm chatting with, we're over here hanging out and chatting with our YouTube chat. I'm working on getting all of the platforms chats in one place for me to view them during streams so I can communicate with y'all. But right now we are reading and commenting on YouTube chat. I know, right, Bullion? Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I worry and see if they're gonna like fly into somebody's face or something. Hypothetically, we could just be about 15 minutes from a static fire. Again, we think that there's a good chance we could see a static fire in about 15 minutes. Let me just check battery on our cameras, make sure we're good on battery. We should be plenty good. Yeah, we got plenty. This is the first stream we've done since launch day, so just making sure everything is good and copacetic. If anybody is in North America, specifically northern Mexico in the United States, I hope that you are planning on going to see the eclipse on April 8th. Specifically, I hope y'all are traveling into the path of totality, and if not, that's okay too. A lot of the country will be under at least a partial eclipse, so make sure you get your eclipse glasses out and you can check that out. But it is worth traveling into the path of totality for. If you've seen a partial eclipse before, don't let that temper your expectations for a total eclipse. A total eclipse is insanely different from a partial eclipse, and it is worth the money to travel if you have it. Update for fire, about 1:30:55 plus or minus 5 seconds. Okay, we're still looking like it could be about 1:30 plus or minus a minute. Jimatech says, yeah, in the IFT3 Space Junkie mic sound around 1 hour and 35 minutes in, the bird was so funny. I'll have to go back and review that. But yeah, if you guys watched our recap video of IFT3, you'll note that the audio is something special, especially if you hear it with headphones. And of course, that amazing audio is only made possible with the help from Jimatech and Space Junkie for providing the mic, and Jimatech for creating the mic and helping us support the mic and troubleshoot and everything. and as a result, we've come up with some really, really amazing audio. I'll have to go back and check in on those bird sounds, though. That's funny. All right, so hypothetically, if we are still targeting a 1:30 static fire, I would expect to start hearing rumors of a duration. I'm sorry, I was texting and talking, and I did not say the right thing. I would expect in a couple minutes to start hearing about a siren. So let's start to see if we hear any news about a siren in Boca Chica Village in about 2 minutes. Somebody's got a drone up here at Isablanca Park, which is not allowed anymore. Okay, again, if we are hoping to see a static fire at 1:30, I would want to hear about a siren over at Boca Chica Village. Like I said, we don't always 100% of the time get that notification, but when we do, it's a great 10 minutes heads up usually. Alright, we could be 10 minutes from a static fire if the CSI Starbase estimates are correct. Again, it is possible that the time could not match up, as this could be a slightly different test with a slightly different test timeline, but we could be 10 minutes from a static fire. My buddy just texted me saying that he's tuned into the feed. You know who you are. Thank you for stopping in. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. Excited to come up to Austin again. I actually was thinking about it. I don't know if I'll be able to make it up in the next couple weekends or whatever, but I'm due again for Austin. Excuse me. Balint says there will be a full solar eclipse in Spain in 2026. We might travel because we might be long gone if we wait for one in Hungary. It's going to be one in 2080-ish. Yeah, highly recommend traveling for the Spain eclipse. Heck, maybe I'll even go to Spain for that one too. Miss you too, buddy. Miss you too. All right, let's see here. What do we got? We got no siren yet. Wait, I'm hearing rumors of a siren. All right, let me jump in front of the camera for a second to provide an update here. All right, so if you this is one of my famous things that I like to say. If you have this on in the background and you're just kind of multitasking, now is the time to probably tune back in. Not confirmed, but it looks pretty likely that they heard a siren over in Boca Chica Village. I just saw some chats going on in the NSF chat. So generally speaking, that's usually pretty accurate. So if they did indeed hear that siren over at Boca Chica Village, that means we should be about 10 minutes or less from that static fire. So that lines up just perfectly with the estimates that we've been talking about in chat here today, and that the CSI Starbase community has communicated out as well. So hopefully 130 is that target, maybe 131, 132. So this should be coming up anytime. So let me bring you right back to that 4K. Actually, you're not getting the 4K feed through Starlink, but the 4K camera. And of course, regardless of whatever resolution we're pushing, that haze is still not giving us the best clarity. But again, this static fire is going to cut right through that haze. It should look real good. Okay, we are zoomed in. We have battery. Might as well start recording. We are recording. The timing of this is so rough for my meeting here. Six minutes until potential static fire. 6 minutes. Siren at 120, so it should be just about exactly 130 that we're targeting. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Change the headline here. All right. 5 minutes, folks. 5 minutes until potential static fire. 5 minutes. Get out of here, Seagull. You can see some venting coming from the center of ship 29. That is expected, although we don't expect to see that going continuously for a long period of time. But we do expect to see that vent going off from time to time during this process. If we see it going for a long period of time, that's a different story, but let's keep an eye on that. That is kind of going off, huh? Could be 3 minutes from a static fire here. All right, keep your eyes peeled. We think that's the roll vent. Gotcha. So that could be expected. I would say at this point, static fire is imminent at any point. Keep your eyes peeled on Starship S29. We are imminent for a static fire. 2 minutes or less, potentially. That vent is still going, still going. I have no specific reason to believe that it's not expected, but it makes me think, but I think we're still on for the static fire in 2 minutes or less. All right, folks, 1 minute. We could be 1 minute or less from the static fire of Starship S29, second static fire. I'll try to crank my mic when we're seeing it, so I can get any audio that we might be able to get. Could be 30 seconds here. 30 seconds. Any second. Keep holding tight, keep holding tight. There it is. Standing by for audio. Very, very quiet audio. All right, let me jump back in front of the camera here and give you all an update. I'm just testing my mic audio levels because I adjusted testing. All right, picture in picture. All right, folks, as you can see on my right-hand side of the screen, or actually your left-hand side of the screen, you see all that dust starting to come up from Starship S29. S29 just completed its static fire. Now, that was not very long, nor was it very loud from here. So definitely kind of confirmed that they might have been going for a single-engine static fire as opposed to the 6-engine static fire that we saw 2 days ago. I was reserving a little bit of belief that they could be going for another full 6, but I was more thinking that they would go for a single, like we probably just saw. So definitely not the most impressive that we've seen here, but impressive to us doesn't mean anything. The fact that they got the test done and hopefully done correctly and successful is everything that matters. So I'm glad you hung out with us here for that static fire. It was quiet, but hey, that was good. That was good. So we're gonna leave these views up for you for a while. I'm gonna go back to that full screen, and then I'm gonna jump on a meeting, and I'll hang out on that meeting for probably a half hour or so, and then I'll come back. And if there's anybody else hanging out here, then I'll do my sign offs then. But for now, that was that. Like I said, pretty dang quiet this time around here at Isla Blanca Park, but I'm glad to see them get the test done. Wish it was a little bit more of an exciting test from out here, but I'm just happy they got it done. So thanks everybody for hanging out. We're gonna keep the stream up for a little bit. I'm gonna go onto a meeting right now, so I'll talk to you soon.
Not very loud this time.
No, that's all right. That's okay. Yep, still heard it. Just faint.
We missed what, Monday?
Yeah. That was a bigger one.
Yeah, we were on our way down, but it happened sooner than we thought.
Right.
So it was like, so we're on the north end of the island.
Can't get down here that fast.
No. We watch it all the time. So. Hey, you got a card or anything?
I actually don't. No. But yeah, check it out, Rocket Future. I hate to cut you off, but I gotta jump on a meeting.